These antibodies can be tricky because they react quickly, often inconsistently, and can interfere with antibody identification in the lab. But again, clinically they're usually not harmful. So, to summarize, it is named after original antibody producers, Chido and Rogers. Antigens come from complement C4, not the RBC membrane. C4b carries CH, whereas C4a carries RG. Antibodies are HTLA type, not clinically significant. Enzyme sensitive, but DTT and glycine EDTA resistant. Next is the Jervik system. It is named after Mrs. Jervik, the first patient from whom the anti-GE antibody was discovered. The Jervik antigens are expressed at birth, which means they show up early, similar to systems like Colton and Landsteiner Wiener groups. This is useful to know when considering hemolytic disease of the fetus and newborn. These antigens are carried on sialoglycoprotein structures known as GPC and GPD. These structures are proteins on the surface of the RBCs that contribute to the antigenicity of the Jervik system. Sialoglycoproteins are proteins that have sialic acid attached to their sugar component, which influences how the immune system recognizes them. We also have a null phenotype under this blood group system, and it is known as the Jervik null phenotype or the Leach phenotype. The Leach type refers to the Jervik null phenotype. This means that individuals with this phenotype lack the typical Jervik antigens, which are GE2, GE3, and GE4 on their RBCs. This could be of clinical importance because these individuals won't produce antibodies to the Jervik system since their cells don't express the typical antigens. When testing for Jervik system antigens, it's important to note how sensitive or resistant they are to different enzyme treatments. All Jervik antigens except for GE4 are sensitive to enzymes. This means that enzymes like piscine will weaken or destroy most of these antigens, making them harder to detect after treatment. On the other hand, GE2 and GE4 are piscine and papain sensitive, meaning these antigens can be destroyed or weakened by these enzymes. GE3, however, is piscine resistant, which is important to note when interpreting results from enzyme-treated RBCs. Also, one important thing to consider is that the Jervik antigens are resistant to treatment with dithiotritol and glycine acid EDTA. These treatments typically break down or weaken certain antigens, but the Jervik antigens remain intact, which can be useful in differentiating them from other blood group systems that are sensitive to these treatments. Now, let's dive into the Kromer blood group system, which has a fascinating history and some key clinical relevance, especially when it comes to understanding paroxysmal nocturnal hemoglobinuria and prenatal antibody screening. The Kromer system was named after Mrs. Kromer, a Black prenatal patient in whom the first Kromer antibody was found. Interestingly, the antibody reacted with all RBCs except for her own and those of her two siblings. This specificity raised questions about the antigen led to the identification of the Kromer antigens. The Kromer antigens are carried on the decay accelerating factor or DAF, which is also known as CD55. DAF is a glycoprotein that regulates complement activation on cell surfaces, helping prevent damage to healthy cells. DAF is strongly expressed on placental tissues and absorbs Kromer antibodies. This means that during pregnancy, the placenta can capture antibodies that are specific to the Kromer system, potentially affecting prenatal testing and making the results a bit tricky. These antigens are not just on red blood cells, they are also distributed in body fluids as well as on white blood cells, platelets, and placental tissue. This wide distribution is one reason why the system can be important in immune system responses beyond just transfusion or blood typing. Now for the key phenotype, The CRA negative phenotype is typically found in Black populations, while it is rare or absent in whites. This distinction is useful when considering ethnic differences in antigen distribution and potential antibody formation. Take note, PNH3, a form of paroxysmal nocturnal hemoglobinuria, RBCs are deficient in DAF, meaning they lack chromer antigens. This is clinically significant because it can help differentiate between PNH and other conditions that might mimic similar symptoms. From a laboratory perspective, the chromer antigens have some distinct reactions to enzyme treatments. They are resistant to piscine, papain, and glycine acid EDTA. These resistance make the chromer antigens more stable during typical enzyme treatments. However, the antigens are destroyed by chymotrypsin. This enzyme breaks down the chromer antigens, which can be useful tool for distinguishing chromer-related antibodies. On the other hand, it is weakened by DTT or diethiotritol. Since diethiotritol treatment can reduce the expression of chromer antigens, which can help with antigen antibody studies when you're looking for specific reactivity patterns. Now for the NAPS blood group system. NAPS is named after a patient, in this case Mrs. NAPS, who was the first known to have an antibody against this antigen. The antigens on the NAPS systems are found on complement receptor 1, which is a protein present on red blood cell surface. CR1 plays a role in immune regulation and complement clearance, but in our context, we care that it serves as the host for these NAPS antigens. A few things to note about the expression of these antigens are they are weakly expressed on cord blood red cells, which can make detection difficult in newborns. They are also weakened over time during storage of adult RBCs, which can interfere with lab detection as well. And as for the antibodies against NAP antigens, here's the deal. They are generally clinically insignificant. So again, not something that would prevent you from issuing blood to a patient. They tend to show weak, variable, or nebulous reactivity, specifically at the antiglobulin phase of testing. Interestingly, unlike some other antibodies, they are not inhibited by plasma, so they keep reacting even in the presence of excess plasma. Their reactivity can be enhanced by longer incubation, such as 1 hour at 37 degrees Celsius, which is something you might try in the lab if you suspect NAPS. A unique feature in the system is the Helgeson phenotype, which is essentially a null phenotype, meaning people with this don't express NAP antigens at all. It's rare, but it can be useful to know when investigating puzzling antibody cases. Also, certain diseases states can depress NAPS antigen expressions. For instance, patients with systemic lupus erythematosus or SLE or paroxysmal nocturnal hemoglobinuria and even AIDS may show weaker antigen expression, which again can confuse interpretation. The antigens are weakened by enzymes like piscine and papain, but they're not completely destroyed. On the other hand, they are destroyed by TTT, which helps differentiate them from other antigens. Interestingly, the antigens are resistant to glycine acid EDTA treatment, and similar to Chido-Rogers, the antibodies show HTLA characteristics, meaning they are high titer, low avidity, often weakly reactive, often persistent in testing but not clinically dangerous. Next, the Indian blood group system. It was named after the first INA positive individual who was found in India. This system was thus named based on the geographical origin of its discovery, like many other blood group systems. The INA or the Indian antigen and INB antigens were weakly expressed on cord RBCs. This means that similar to some other blood group systems, their expression is lower in newborns compared to adults, which can affect antibody detection in newborns. The expression of INA and INB antigens is depressed in individuals with the LUA negative B negative phenotype. The LUA negative B negative phenotype refers to a specific combination of Lewis antigens where these individuals do not express the typical Lewis antigens on their RBCs, And in turn, the Indian antigens, which are INA and INB, are also less visible. The antibodies that react against INA and INB antigens are usually of the IgG type. IgG antibodies are typically reactive in the antiglobulin test, which is often used in blood type typing and antibody screening. IgG antibodies are generally involved in hemolytic transfusion reactions and can cross the placenta, which is important when considering pregnancy and fetal health. INA and INB antibodies do not bind complement, meaning they won't cause direct lysis of RBCs like some other antibodies that are complement activating. The INA antigen is more prevalent in Arab and Iranian populations. This means that you might see higher frequencies of these antigens in those populations compared to others. And as mentioned earlier, individuals with the LUA negative, B negative phenotype is common in certain populations, and it will have the expression of both INA and INB antigens, which can affect antibody screening in these individuals. The INA-INB antigens are sensitive to enzyme treatment with fisin, papain, and DTT. This means that when these enzymes are used in laboratory settings, they may weaken or destroy the antigens, which can be useful in distinguishing between the different blood group systems. However, INA and INB antigens are resistant to glycine acid EDTA, meaning they will stay intact even when exposed to this treatment. Next, the OK blood group system. And like many other blood group systems, this system is named after the individual who first produced the antibody, in this case, Mrs. Kobutso, whose serum led to the discovery of the anti-OKA antibody. OKA antigen is well developed on red blood cells from newborns, which is important because some antigens, like those in the kid system, for example, aren't fully expressed at birth. But OKA is already present and detectable in neonates, which can be helpful if we're working up a newborn or doing prenatal testing. The OK antigens are located on CD147, also known as Bassigin, which is a family member of the immunoglobulin superfamily. Now, CD147 might sound familiar to some of you because it's actually involved in a bunch of biological processes. Most notably, it acts as a receptor and plays a role in cell adhesion. It is expressed in various tissues, not just red blood cells. What about the antibodies? The main antibody here is anti-OKA. Importantly, there are no reports of anti-OKA causing hemolytic disease of the fetus and newborn. That's a big relief in clinical practice. So even though the antibody exists, it's not considered clinically significant in that context. From a lab testing perspective, the OKA antigen is resistant to enzyme treatment. So even if you treat red cells with enzymes like pisin or papain, the antigen expression remains intact. This is helpful when you're trying to distinguish OK antigens from others that might be destroyed or weakened by enzymes. Next, the RAP blood group system. It is named after the first patient who produced the alloantibody called anti-MER2. The MER2 antigen is named from a monoclonal antibody produced in Eleanor Roosevelt laboratory, hence the combination of monoclonal and Eleanor Roosevelt, leading to the name MER2 or MER2. The MER2 antigen is located on CD151, which is a tetraspanin protein. Tetraspanines are proteins that play a role in organizing other proteins in the cell membrane, creating complexes involved in a variety of cellular processes. CD151 is particularly important for the assembly of basement membranes in both the kidney and skin. This suggests that MER2 might be important in structural integrity and cellular adhesion, especially in these tissues. MER2 is abundant on platelets and is expressed on erythroid precursors, which are the developing red blood cells in the bone marrow of individuals with either MER2 positive or MER2 negative RBCs. This indicates that the antigen is involved in the development of red blood cells, but not may be expressed on mature RBCs in some individuals, which can affect blood typing and antibody screening. RAP025 antigens are resistant to treatment with Ficin and papain, which are commonly used in blood group serology to modify RBC antigens. This means that these antigens will not be weakened or destroyed by these enzymes, which helps in confirming their presence on the RBC membrane. However, the MER2 antigen is sensitive to treatment with other enzymes, including trypsin, alpha-chymotrypsin, pronase, and AET. These enzymes break down or modify proteins in a way that can alter the expression of the MER2 antigen on the RBCs. Next, the JMH. The name JMH comes from John Milton Hagen, the first patient identified to have antibody against this antigen. This naming pattern after the first antibody producer is a common thread across many of these high-incidence antigens. The JMH antigen is weakly expressed on cord blood cells, which, as we have discussed, can make it a bit tricky to detect in newborns. The JMH antigen is carried on a protein known as CD108, which is a glycosyl phosphatidylinositol, or GPI-linked protein, but more on that in advanced classes. What's important here is that the expression can fade or become absent in older individuals, especially in association with certain conditions. Now, here's something you'll often see in elderly patients. They may develop autoanti-JMH, meaning they form antibodies against their own JMH antigens as it becomes weakly expressed or completely lost over time. This is part of the reason why JMH is sometimes linked to age-related antigen loss. These autoantibodies often exhibit HTLA characteristics. Again, that's high titer, low ability, so they're weak, persistent, and often not clinically significant, but they can show up as confusing, low-grade reactions in the laboratory, and they can absolutely complicate the antibody identification panels. Next, the Hill blood group system. It is genetically discrete, meaning it is separate from all other blood group systems. This makes it a unique system in terms of both of its genetic basis and its clinical implications. The Hill antigen is found on aquaporin 3, which is a glycerol transporter. Aquaporin 3 is a member of the major intrinsic protein family, which is a group of water channels involved in regulating water transport across cell membranes. Aquaporin 3 is important for water reabsorption in various tissues, including the kidney and even the skin, as well as for the transport of glycerol in tissues like erythrocytes and epithelial cells. This means the Hill antigen has a role in how water and glycerol move across cell membranes, particularly in kidney cells and skin cells, impacting hydration and cellular processes. Now, the Hill null phenotype occurs when there is a frameshift mutation and a premature stop codon in the gene responsible for encoding aquaporin 3. This results in a lack of functional aquaporin 3 protein and consequently a lack of Hill antigen on red blood cells, and individuals with this phenotype do not express the Hill antigen and may have different responses in blood typing and even transfusion scenarios. The Hill antigen is enhanced with treatment with Ficin and papain, while the antigens are resistant to treatment with dithiotritol and glycine acid EDTA. Now, the Rh-associated glycoprotein. This is a relatively new system, so you might not have encountered it in routine transfusion practice yet, but it's a great example of how our understanding of red cell membrane proteins continues to evolve. Now let's start with the basics. This system centers around the Rh-associated glycoprotein or RAG. Now, even though the name sounds similar to the Rh blood group system, it's closely related. RAG itself does not carry Rh blood group antigens like the capital D, C, E, small c, or E. Instead, RAG is a structural component. Think of it like the scaffolding that supports and stabilizes the expressions of Rh proteins on the red cell membrane. Take note, it's critical for proper membrane function and ion transport, and without it, the Rh proteins can't be expressed correctly. In fact, RAG is essential for the expression of Rh antigens since it forms parts of the complex required for their integration into the membrane. Now, let's talk about the antigens specifically assigned to these systems. There are two antigens officially recognized, the Duclos or the RAG1, OLA or RAG2. In addition, there's also a mention of DSLK or Duclos type, which is sometimes referred to as RAG4, though it hasn't been formally assigned a number in all systems yet. These antigens are quite rare, and antibodies against them are not commonly encountered. However, mutations in RAG can lead to Rh null phenotypes, where individuals completely lack Rh antigens on their red cells, and these individuals often present with hemolytic anemia and abnormal red cell morphology due to disrupted membrane cell integrity. Now, for clinical considerations, RAG-related antigens don't appear to play a direct role in transfusion reactions, at least not yet based on current evidence. However, their structural importance in Rh complex expression means that any dysfunction or absence can have major implications for red cell survival and functions. Antibodies to these antigens, when they do appear, may show up during complex antibody investigations, especially in patients with Rh null or Rh mod phenotypes. Now, let us discuss the relatively new blood group systems, starting with ISBT 031. ISBT 031. The first antigen is part of the Forssman glycosphingolipid, which was first thought to be a subgroup of A called APAE or APA-A in 1987. The ISBT symbol for this system is Forss, and it only has one antigen, which is the Forss1 antigen. The GBGTI gene produces a glycosyltransferase that helps form the Forssman glycolipid by adding sugar molecule to the P antigen. This glycolipid is found on various tissues, including gastric, colonic mucosa, lung, and kidney, and it's important because it can act as a receptor for pathogens like E. coli, possibly increasing the risk of infection in individuals who express Forss1 antigen. Now, ISBT 032 or the junior, JRA is a high prevalence antigen found in most populations, but the JRA negative phenotype is more commonly found in Japanese individuals. The JRA antigen is encoded by the ABCG2 gene located on chromosome 4. And ABCG2 is part of a family of transporters involved in multi-drug resistance in cancer cells, which can make chemotherapy treatment more difficult. Anti-JRA is usually IgG and can cause hemolytic transfusion reactions due to the strong immune response it elicits. Now, for ISBT 033 or LAN, the LAN antigen is very common with greater than 99% of people expressing the LAN antigen on their red blood cells. However, the LAN negative phenotype is rare, occurring occurring in about 1 in 20,000 people. This LAN gene, located on chromosome 2, is another ATP-binding cassette transporter. It is involved in heme synthesis by helping take up heme and porphyrins into the mitochondria. Anti-LAN is clinically significant because it has caused immediate hemolytic transfusion reactions, which means LAN-negative RBCs should be used for transfusions in these individuals to avoid severe reactions. Now, for ISBT 035 or CD59, the decay accelerating factor, CD59 is a complement regulatory glycoprotein found on red blood cells. It prevents complement activation that could lead to cell destruction or hemolysis. It works by binding to C8 and C9, blocking the formation of the membrane attack complex that could otherwise damage the red blood cell membrane. People with paroxysmal hemoglobinuria and a type of acquired hemolytic anemia have a deficiency in CD59 because of mutations in this gene that links it to the cell membrane. This leads to a complement-mediated destruction of red blood cells. Now, your assignment would be read the Bell Blood Group System or ISBT 034 and ISBT 036. That would be your reading assignment. Lastly, we have an important miscellaneous antigen and that is SDA. Take note, ang SDA po, ilang beses na pong lumabas sa board exam. It says here, SDA is a high prevalence antigen named for Sid, who was the head of maintenance department at the Lister Institute in London. It is not expressed on RBCs of newborns, but is in their saliva, urine, and meconium. Antigen found in guinea pig and human urine antibodies are typical weak and agglutination is mixed field. Reduction of SDA expression during pregnancy. The soluble form of SDA is TAM horsefall glycoprotein found in urine. Reactivity is described as small refractile or shiny agglutinates in a sea of free RBCs. Also, SDA antigens are resistant to treatment with enzymes. And that's the end of our discussion. Don't forget to read your reading assignment.